Hey guys, welcome back to Senegalese Twisted. Today I'm back with another video and we're talking about Maîtresse and I, marié, episode 49. And as you can see, I have channeled my inner Djalika, and let me know what you think about my hairstyle. Let's get into the video. So episode 49 actually started off with mommy's sister and boyfriend finding mommy's body, because as we can remember from the last episode, she actually took the knife and she slit her wrists. So the next scene is actually Philly and Lala at the beauty salon, and Philly's actually pushing Lala to publish the videos and photos because she's actually really concerned about Noura, and she thinks that if Lala is publishing the photos and videos, that they'll automatically get rid of Biram, and so also get rid of the threats that are now on Noura. But Lala is really not convinced, or she doesn't want to publish the photos and videos, and she actually said that imagine being a young woman having done that and having your photos and videos actually end up in the wrong hands. And I think that Lala is looking at it from a motherly perspective and also a family woman perspective, because she's like, no, because it will ruin her life, and she really actually pities her, and that's also what she said. So I'm really curious whether Lala is actually going to publish the photos or videos, or maybe Philly's gonna do it. And I really want to know what it will take for Lala to, you know, actually not even think about it, just get the pictures and send them out to the world to see. And Philly actually told her, you know what, I'm just gonna send you the pictures and the videos just in case. And as you can see, she actually showed Lala the footage, because Lala was asking Philly like, what do you have on her that, you know, she's so stressed out lately? So we'll see what happens. So then you have Djalika talking to the counselor about Amina, and well, the moral of the story is that Amina is actually different. She is unable to verbalize her feelings because, as you may have noticed, Amina doesn't talk. And I would say that is since the kidnapping, but apparently it's also because Biram was a violent father. And then she showed Amina's drawing, and you could see that she draw a happy family, like her mom and her little brother. And then she drew her father and Jor, I believe, but without arms and legs, and she just, you know, used darker colors. And the counselor was actually saying that, yeah, and this is probably her trauma. And she was actually asking Djalika whether Biram could come to one of these meetings so they can talk about it together, so they can work together to, you know, have a better environment for Amina, so she can feel comfortable and eventually talk and be like other kids. And I think that this was really interesting, because I would not expect a Senegalese family to go to the counselor and actually get advice on, you know, trauma and experience with trauma and how to deal with trauma, and actually work together to, you know, look at the child and be like, you know what, there's something wrong with our child, we need to seek help, and actually get that help and accept that help and whatever they say. Because within the conversation, Djalika was also like, yeah, so my child is different from other kids, and she was not, you know, open to accept the fact that Amina is different from other kids. And the counselor told her also like, yeah, she's different, but it's mostly because of her background. Like, it's not like she is retarded or anything. It's more based on her trauma and how she experienced it and how she's now unable to express her feelings, and she refuses to talk, basically. Okay, so the next thing is the whole Jor situation. So it starts off with this Halpular woman coming in looking for someone called Amina, and Merjang is like, there's no Amina here, and eventually they find out that she's actually looking for Jor and that she is Jor's mom. And Jor's mom was really like, yeah, and you live with Jor here, and if you would care about her family, you would have known her name, whether she had uncles, whether she had a mom, whether she had a grandmother, you know, because family is really important. And yeah, so that was like strike one for Jor's mom. So then Merjang is actually looking for Jor and telling her that you know, you got a visitor, and she's like, are you sure I have a visitor? Because she knows that nobody knows where she lives. And yeah, so whenever Merjang tells her that, you know, your mom is here, she's like she's really shocked, and she's like, oh my god, my life is over, you know, I am effed. And she actually screamed, and Merjang was like, you know what, I do not have time for this. Normally when you tell people that their mom is here, they're jumping in the air, dancing, clapping, singing, but you are acting as if I told you some bad news. So what's going on? I do not have time for trouble. Just go out there and make it go away, because I feel like your mom is not here. You know, she did not come in peace, and she did not come in peace. Okay, so then they're all sitting down, and Jor's mom is actually asking Jor, like, who brought you here, who gave you a husband? Because in Senegalese culture, and I think in most African cultures, whenever a man wants to marry a woman, his family needs to go visit her family to officially ask for her hand in marriage. And in this case, Jor just married herself off, so that is already odd. On top of that, she is Halpular. So in her culture, most Halpular people in Senegal, they usually only marry within their culture. So a lot of times in this scene, or in the whole episode, Jor's mom really had to emphasize that they were Halpular de Gepir. That means that, like, their whole bloodline has been able to stay like Halpular blood. So they never married outside of their culture, basically. So Merjang actually, you know, had to step in and be like, you know what, this must be a misunderstanding, because the Jor that I know is such a good girl and everything. And her mom was like, good? She is not good at all. She is Wuyu di Bandi di Sai Sai. And she said that a few times, and it basically means that you're a bad person. And Jor's mom was really telling Merjang that, you know what, I am the person that raised her. I'm the person that knows her best. She is not good at all. And I don't know about your son, but I'm sure that he is not supposed to be marrying a married woman. And that's where Merjang was actually really shocked. And before Jor's mom actually told her that, Jor was actually pleading with her mom in Halpular, like, yeah, don't tell her, she doesn't need to know, you know, because I don't understand Halpular, but I understood from how she was acting, because her mom was like, I'm not gonna tell her, I am gonna tell her today, I'm talking. And then she told. So in the last scene with Jor and her mom, Biram was actually already home, and he was telling Jor, like, you know what, you need to take your bags and you need to go. And then Jor was saying like, no, I actually divorced him. And her mom was like, divorce? You didn't divorce nobody. You just took your stuff and you went away and you left your husband and you left your child. And yeah, and even Merjane was like, you see this house? Take everything you want. I just need you to be out of here as soon as possible. And then Jor's mom was actually asking Jor like, why do you dislike your own blood that much? And I think she was more talking about her about two things, because first of all, Jor was married probably to her cousin, and she also left her own child. So I think that that's what her mom meant. And Jor was telling her like, no, because you forced me to marry them like into the family, and I never wanted that, and I don't love him. And her mom was telling her like, love, like a white man love, because I think that maybe popular people see love as something from the Western world that you see in Hollywood, in movies and everything. So I think that they don't necessarily marry for love, but they marry to, you know, continue the lineage and keep it probably within the family, so that their offspring can be also like halpulaar de pure, like a pure halpulaar. And then Jor's mom was actually telling her story like, yeah, I was young and, you know, they veiled me and I went to the room and I was married to your dad and I saw your dad, and since then I've always been with your dad. I've only known your dad, and the only thing that's gonna, you know, take me away from your dad is death. And then she basically told Jor that yeah, if you are going to go back, and the only thing that's going to take you away from your husband is death. So yeah. And that was really weird, because she was basically dragged out of the house by her mom. And at the end, Biram even gave his mom, like, her mom, like 20,000 just to make the road, you know, like the road go easier. So in the next scene, you actually see Djalika talk with her mom, and she's actually talking about her misfortune, and her mom tells her that, you know what, Djalika, you're not alone in this. Biram is here. You should tell him and ask for his support, because he should help you for the sake of his children, instead of, you know, being petty and just not help just for the sake of hurting you. And Djalika was actually saying that, no, it's my fault, because if I had left Biram earlier, you know, this all would not have happened to Amina. And her mom was like, you have to be grateful, because at least, you know, you have the means to help her, to make her feel better. And it would have been a lot worse if you did not have the means to actually help your child. So you should be grateful, because she has had a lot of misfortune actually. And she's like asking her mom like, yeah, what did I do to deserve this? And her mom is actually saying that you didn't do anything, it was me. And I think it is time for me to go to the person I did wrong to actually ask for forgiveness, so this all can be over with. And then Djalika's like, Mom, what did you do? And I also want to know, Mom, what did you do? And it would be really crazy if she would go to Rocky or Rocky's mom to ask them for forgiveness. Like, how weird would that be? Because then it would mean that Rocky's dad is actually also Djalika's dad. Oh my god, I really want to know. I have Lala and Biram, and they're actually talking and Lala's actually accusing him already of something, but she's not specific, so Biram can have his own interpretation of what she means. And he said that, you know what, Djalika's dad, he blackmailed me, and I think that he was talking about something else, about the company and Sheikh and everything. So she's like, so you are afraid of something in life, you know, because he lives life as if he's afraid of nothing. So she confronted him with that, and then Lala's actually telling it how it is, and she's like, yeah, did you think that we could have a great time, laugh and smile, but I need you to give my jewelry back? And then he was shocked. And then she's like, oh, so you didn't think that I would know that it was you who stole my jewelry? And he's like, no, I didn't steal it, I just borrowed it, I will bring it back. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy is crazy. And she's like, yeah, you better give it back, and you better give it all back. If something is missing, I'll put people on you that will beat the hell out of you, so that all you can do is crawl. Is Djalika and Maki, they're getting ice cream, and he knows that she's like thinking a lot, and he's like, yeah, a penny for your thoughts. And she's like, yeah, I'm thinking about what kind of life Amina will have. And he's like, she'll have a fulfilling life with a lot of love and tenderness from us, and we'll give her everything she needs. And then Djalika starts to say that, you know what, I do not want to tell Biram, because he is, basically she said that he's petty and he will not be the bigger person in this. And then Maki actually told him that, you know what, no matter how Biram is, he is and will forever be their dad, so he actually has the right to know. And oh my god, speaking of the devil, he drives by, he sees them right in that romantic moment where she is actually tasting his ice cream, and they're actually, you know, playing a bit, and he drives by and he sees that. And whenever that scene came on, I was so scared, because I thought he was gonna, you know, drive into them or something, because you guys know Biram is a crazy ass person. And he didn't, he just parked somewhere and he started crying. And I think that this is so ironic, because there's this meme where you see like a timeline of when a woman breaks up and when a man breaks up. So when a man breaks up, it's like party, 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 and then like 6 months later he's crying. While with the women, it's like they cry and cry and cry, and then like after 6 months they're partying. And this was such a beautiful projection of that, because I thought, so now it hurts you, Biram, to see Djalika being loved by another man, doing fun things with another man, and now you want to cry? It's a bit too late. So the next scene is Noura knocking on Mariam's door, telling her she has a visitor, and Mariam does not know who it is, and find out it's Hamid in her house, and she's probably stressing, because I was also stressing. And they were having, you know, an exchange of words, and I think that Hamid is really arrogant, but it suits his role. And then Sheikh comes in, and he announces that Hamid's gonna be his business partner, and they're gonna be working closely together now. And it was a surprise for Mariam actually, because he found out that Mariam and Hamid have known each other for since a long time, but also that Hamid is Amsa's ex. And then Hamid was also invited for dinner, and I think he asked Sheikh, or he proposed to Sheikh like, yeah, we should actually invite Amsa as well. And then Sheikh was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Mariam, call your cousin. And then Hamid was like, no, I think you should call her, because if it's only Mariam, she's not going to come, and you have to insist, otherwise she's not coming. Because I think that Sheikh has the idea that Hamid is a great guy, and that just because he and Amsa are exes, that, you know, they could get together. So that, I think that was like, by the way, a master manipulator move, that Hamid told Sheikh to call her instead of Mariam, because otherwise she would not come. He's onto something. So then they are at dinner, and they're actually talking about Amsa and Hamid's wedding. And it's crazy, because I know it all starts off as a joke, but imagine being Mariam or Amsa and not thinking it's funny. So Lala actually put a bit of salt into this wound, and she said that yeah, if you are going to marry, it's gonna be amazing, because I will be preparing your suitcase. Because in Senegalese culture, whenever a woman gets married, she's gonna get a suitcase with a lot of new clothing, goodies and everything. I think also lingerie and everything. So I think that was like a stab for them. And then she continues by asking like, yeah, so how long have you guys known each other? And Hamid is like saying that, yeah, we've known each other since forever. We've gone through a lot of stuff together. And he actually said that, do you know what kind of wife you have? He was telling Sheikh like, do you know what kind of wife you have? And there are a lot of men that are actually jealous of you. And it was more, you know, implying probably like about the sex tape and everything. But for Sheikh, who is ignorant of that fact, it might seem as a compliment. Like, okay, a lot of men would want to be with your wife. She's beautiful, she's amazing, you know. So that was like a bit of brushed off like that. And then Hamid did something else that was like hashtag master manipulator, and he was like, Amsa, Mariam, why are you girls so quiet? Like, are you guys okay? Is there something wrong? And then they were like, no, nothing is wrong. And Mariam was like, no, Amsa and I, nothing can come between us. And Hamid was like, not even me. And this was all, you know, about that tape, because oh my god, that stuff is crazy. And then Amsa suddenly stands up and is like, yeah, I'm going home, I'm having a headache. And Hamid is like, I'll drive you home. And then you see the panic in Mariam's eyes, and she's like, no, Amsa, you can stay, you can sleep over, because I need you. And then Lala is back at it again with the salt, because she's like, why are you jealous of her? Because you already have what's yours at the table, Sheikh, and you should let her have at least what's hers, Hamid. But she knows what we know, so it's like double twisted. And then they leave, and oh my god, that was crazy. That was a crazy scene. I was actually a bit stressed, because I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen when he finds out this is happening? You know, like Sheikh, when Sheikh finds out, it's gonna be, the world is going to turn like upside down. So the last scene is where Mariam is actually crying on the couch, and Sheikh comes in and he's like, what are you doing here so late alone? Are you okay? And she's like pleading with him like, yeah, promise me that whatever happens, you'll never leave me. And Sheikh is like, why would I leave you? And I will never leave you. And he even said something romantic, and I'm sure it's supposed to be romantic, but I did not get it. Like, he was like, if I would drown into the ocean for you, and then I would wake up in the desert and swim or something. And I was like, is this supposed to be romantic? But I guess so. He just reassured her that, you know, I am who I am because of you, and I love you so much, and you are the best of me, and you make my world a happier place and everything. So yeah, but we need to keep in mind that he does not even know why Mariam is saying this and pleading and basically begging him not to go based off of his idea and perception of what Mariam is. But whatever she did with the sex tape and everything, it's beyond that. So I don't think that he can ever imagine her having a sex tape or, you know, the pictures. And that's why he's saying this. But I'm sure that the day he finds out, he is not even going to say any of the words that he just said, like, I will drown in the ocean and swim in the desert. You won't even look at her. Like, she can be the one drowning, you with the life vest, and you are not going to help her. I know. And mark my words, the scene where Lala is actually overhearing the part, like the romantic part, and then she goes into the room and we find like the inside Lala, because you guys know the meme where you have like Kermit the Frog and then the one with the hoodie. Like, the other Lala was the one with the hoodie, and the one with the hoodie was like telling the real Lala, like, you know what, destroy her, destroy her, destroy her. And I know he's talking about the video, and we all know that Philly actually sent her the videos, so she has the ammunition to destroy her. But her inside voice was really telling her, you know what, destroy her, destroy her, yakakowai, yakakowai. And I'm like, please don't do it. But I think that scene was so good because it is really a, like, it really paints the picture of how it feels to have that inside voice, but actually have it as a person sitting next to you telling you things, you know. And I think that that scene was really amazing, and I'm really curious about what's gonna happen on Friday. And oh my god, I'm so excited about this all, and I really hope that Lala is not going to publish the videos, of course. Thank you guys for watching. So what do you think? Do you think that Jor is going to come back? Do you think that Biram is finally going to be the bigger person and actually be a source of support for the sake of the children? Do you think that mommy is dead? What do you think that Djalika's mom actually did that has been the cloud of misfortune in Djalika's life? Do you think that Lala is actually going to publish, you know, the juicy videos and photos? And finally, do you think that Hamid is actually going to marry Amsa? Let me know below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. One thing I need to say is that Friday will be the last episode of Maîtresse and I, and I think that they'll be back, I don't know, but when they come back, I will definitely start making these reviews. And if you have any suggestions about shows that you want me to do a review on, let me know below as well. Also, let me know what you think of my beautiful hairstyle. This is my inner Djalika, and if you would want to have a tutorial on how I did this, that's also possible. Let me all know below. See you guys probably on Saturday for the review of the last episode of Maîtresse and I.